Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so be aware that parts may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you, leave the rest. And also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been some time since I posted this, take a look back at what was going on in your life then to get further clarification regarding your situation now. All right, we're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Six of Pentacles. And so the Six of Pentacles represents it's time to sow seeds for you to reap later. And so this energy is learning the give and take in life. The pentacles represent health, wealth, happiness, abundance in 3D, basically, your lifestyle. And so this person is giving some coins to this beggar, but not to this one. This one already has something in his pocket, and that's why this person is holding the scales of justice above his head. This represents the energy of having the discernment to know who really needs the money and the help or who doesn't, and being able to discern that for yourself, how much to give of your time, how much to invest of your time and energy as well. And one form of that, of course, is money, which is why the pentacles are represented by the coin. But you could have all the money in the world and not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. So now we have the Queen of Wands here. I'm just going to double check that I have, I just needed to change this a little bit, sorry. I was doing a different type of reading. I just want to make sure that this is going to be able to see this. All right. We have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is talking about some shifty energy. This is a shift disturber, someone who is a walking contradiction. He is taking 5 swords and leaving 2 for some reason. And wait a minute, I didn't talk about the Queen of Wands. I'm sorry. I'll finish about this and then I'll talk about the Queen of Wands. No offense, Queen of Wands. I just realized when I sat back down. All right, so the 5, he's walking away with 5 swords, and he has the 2 here planted. So this is walking contradiction. He's looking backwards, but he's moving forward. He's not looking where he's going. He's on his tiptoes. It's broad daylight, and he looks like he's a thief. And look how he's carrying those swords. It's so dangerous how he's carrying them. If he trips and falls, I mean, he could, chop his hands off, basically. This energy, we don't really know why he's doing what he's doing, but what it's saying is there's some shifty energy about. And you might, if you sign anything or have anything to do with this person, really make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's kind of energy. The Queen of Wands, she is sitting on her throne, and she represents the energy of the wand, the passion. This is made of wood, and so it represents like the tree and the roots that the tree has that go deep with the ancestors, and also the offshoots, the branches of the descendants. And she's got this little black cat here because she really could care less what other people think. If they're superstitious and they think cats are bad luck, she isn't concerned about it. She just does, she sets the tone. So she really is very independent. She uses her ability to use her mind as well as her intuition to have creative solutions to problems. The sunflower in her hand there represents the energy of the sunflower, a real sunny disposition and following the sun. So it's talking about following God's path, basically. And then we have the Page of Cups coming in. So the Page of Cups represents the pages worked for the king and queen in the old days, and they would generally start working for the king and queen between the age of about 7 and 14, and they would be delivering messages within the palace walls and doing small tasks. When they grew older, if they were good at what they were doing, they would, and they could afford a horse, they might be considered for knighthood. So this energy is this King of Cups, or this Page of Cups, is bringing in some sort of communication. And the communication these days, of course, is going to be very different from back then. It could be in person, but it's more likely a phone call, a letter in the mail, an email, that kind of energy. Maybe a text message. There could be a social media post or something that you see even in the news. Some sort of information coming in that way. And he is really focused on this particular fish. He knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but this is the one that he has his eye on. So this could represent you could be this energy, the Queen of Wands, and someone has their eye on you and is wanting to offer you a cup of romance. Now, you could also be this energy. So depending on, the Queen of Wands also recognize that these are archetypes. So the queen could actually be a male as well as a female in their feminine energy. And the Page of Cups, in the old days, of course, they were always male. But these days, this could easily be a female in her masculine energy, as well as a male. So we have the Nine of Cups. In the tarot deck, there's 10 cups available. And this card is saying that you are highly favored. You already are close to your 9 cups. This is talking about a wish. So, if you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. So this is saying that you still have some work to do. And it's basically saying, like, this could be past, present, or future. Are these cups above his head? Are they behind him in the past? And he already has them. So this is energy, and it looks like this is quite public. So it could be someone who is in the public eye, like someone that's on stage kind of energy. So it could be a speaker, or it could be, an actor, an actress. It could be the energy of a singer, that, a performer of some kind, and a dancer, that kind of energy that's known in the public eye. And so this is saying that, you're highly favored by the Most High, by the energy of the universe, and that, but you need to stay in the game and you need to stay focused. You can see by the body language of this person that they're maybe not 100% comfortable in this position, because their upper body and lower body are kind of awkward in their energy. When people sit with their feet turned out like this, it represents leaking energy. And the crossed arms, if they were higher, would be like protecting the heart. But it's more the energy. It's kind of like he's almost making a symbol, like an infinity symbol here, and a genie, that kind of energy. Having said that, what this card is saying is stay in the game. Don't lose your focus. Many a race is lost in the last lap. You want to stay on course and move through it. And then we have a victory coming in. So this is again the wands, the element of fire. And this is saying you have been victorious. People are recognizing your abilities. They're recognizing you as a leader. It's because you've been able to rein in your emotions. The horse represents emotions, and she's reined the horse in, and the horse is listening to her. The people in the background, it looks like some are jealous and some are with her kind of energy, but they're now kind of all saying, okay, I might be jealous of you, but I have to admit that you have shown leadership qualities. So maybe this could represent like the Queen of Wands, if that's your energy, that you've won some sort of position. So maybe you were wishing for something, but this is love, and this is generally passion, or passion for something that you do. Like it could represent, it's action. Lights, camera, action. So maybe it is an actor or an actress. Maybe it's a politician. That kind of energy. We have the Page of Wands coming in. So the page, like the Page of Cups, he's very focused on his element. The Page of Wands loves his wand. He's very passionate about his wand. And so sometimes he thinks with his little head. He's someone like 21 years or younger kind of energy. Now that doesn't mean that it's a person that's 21 years or in. You could be 80 and be in this energy. Some people take longer than others to mature and to be able to contain that energy. But this is like showing a lot of enthusiasm for life. The pyramids in the background here represent a love of knowledge, even just for the sake of it. It's talking about the mysteries of the world and wanting to really understand them. He's got a feather in his cap. Someone that's really enjoyable to be around, because he has a lot of enthusiasm and, vibrancy. And then we have the Eight of Wands, or Swords, sorry. So the Eight of Swords is kind of coming from this energy, I feel. Here's two planted. Is that where he planted these two? And they're outside the village here. This energy is talking about being in a mental prison. So it's when you look at this, you can see like this person could walk away at a moment's notice. Like she just needs to walk. Her upper body is bound, but her lower body is free. I feel like this water here, water in the tarot represents emotion. So you understand like the water behind the Page of Cups is representing the emotion of love. And I feel like there is more water here. And so these swords are behind her. I feel those are representing some thoughts. Like the swords represent your thoughts, your mental intelligence, your ability to master your mind, like to be disciplined in your mind, and that energy. So she is bound. She feels duty bound. She's got a blindfold on, covering her eyes. So that means like she doesn't want to see what's really there. But now I feel like a lot of the water has dissipated, and it's more like just a shallow puddle. She's got her right foot forward, which is saying I'm ready to move forward. And she has already taken a step forward, and she's on dry land with her right foot. Her left foot is still in this puddle, but it's very shallow. So it's representing that the emotions she was feeling before were probably much stronger. And she's gaining control of that and gaining control of her mind. And eventually she should be able to be out of this energy. We have the Five of Swords here. So the Five of Swords, I feel like this is talking about the sword energy here. I feel like it's talking about being able to discipline your mind so that you have you have more ability to go after your heart's desires. Your subconscious mind, like this person here, this looks like it could be, and so let's look at it from both perspectives here. This could be someone that is fighting other people. And this is saying that he'll do anything to win kind of energy. Like I will fight. And I'll do what I have to win. And so if you challenge me, be ready to fight. That kind of energy. And he's already won twice here in this photo. But this can also represent like different versions of this person. So and the different minds. So this one in the back here, the smaller figure, I feel that represents the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is your thoughts that were developed from the time you were born to about 6 or 7. This energy is, when you think back, like you can't really remember yourself, what happened to you. You have to rely on pictures. Like we have a lot more photos now than we did before with the cell phones and that. So you can get a pretty good idea. But those are selective as well, right? And so the thoughts that in your subconscious mind are actually more the thoughts of the people that were put in charge of your care. And because very few people have really strong memories from up to the age of 6 or 7. And so this energy is talking about, the subconscious mind is heavily imprinted on us. Even though we can't remember it, those are the thoughts that come to our mind when we're upset or we're excited or in, strong emotional state. And so the subconscious mind is we're relying on what other people thought, what other people thought we were, basically, instead of our own real thoughts. Then we have the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is the needs of your soul. And so many people feel like, oh, I'm a human being and I have a soul. But you're actually a soul that's traveling in a human body, and you have you're using that body to navigate around the planet and to get your work done and to explore planet Earth, basically. And your unconscious mind, so your unconscious mind represents the needs of your soul. And then we also have the conscious mind, and the conscious mind is something that you have a handle on. So the conscious mind is you're aware where the thoughts come, and they come from you. When the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind are congruent with each other, and they're plugged into your heart's desires, that's when you can really manifest like your true, authentic desires in life. And so I feel like that could be part of it, or it could be, and or battling with others to get freed of this energy here, because we do have the shift disturber over here. We also have a tower coming in. So the tower is representing the energy of a reality check, basically. And so when people see this card, they'll be like, oh, that looks horrible. And it, at the time, the tower can really feel like it's really, really challenging. Having said that, it's actually a reality check. And, you know, sometimes, like, reality check means that we know the truth. So if there needs to be a reality check, then we're in a position where, okay, we finally have the truth. The truth will set you free. And so this card here, how it works basically is the universe speaks to us through synchronicities and will whisper, you know, hey, you might want to take a look at that situation. There's something that's a little bit weak around that. And then you're like, you don't hear it, or you don't want to hear it. So then you carry on, and the universe says, bang, here's the frying pan, whacks you over the head. So it hurts a bit. And the universe says, do I have your attention now? And you're like, what? What are you talking about? Kind of energy. Elephant? What elephant? I don't see an elephant in the room. Then bang, the lightning hits your tower and you're knocked out of your castle and it's on fire. And one of the people falling out of here is looking surprised, and the other one is looking like, oh, I was kind of worried this might happen, kind of energy. So the reality check is like when you're pretending shift isn't happening around you, but it really is. And so this energy, it is sitting on the Page of Wands. And so the Page of Wands, as I've warned you, it thinks with his little head a lot of the time. So think about this explosive energy in a good way, but also it could represent a reality check because there's maybe third-party involvement, or there could be some sort of energy around that where maybe someone becomes pregnant. And, you know, so be careful of that. Protect yourself if you're in a relationship and you don't want to be pregnant. That sometimes can be the reality check. And there's nothing like a baby to put your life back in order, though. You have this little thing actually bossing you around, and you love it. So we have the Death card coming in. This is actually a lot of people, like, it's not uncommon for these two to be together. And the Death card is representing transition and rebirth. So if you think about it, you know, a lot of people, when they have near-death experiences, they speak about going down the dark tunnel and then there's a light at the end. And it's the same if you think about a baby being born, they're going headfirst down the tunnel and then there's light at the end. The difference is that if you're in the process of being born, you know, a couple of idiots might catch you and they don't know what to do with you, and you didn't come with a manual. So that's why sometimes we end up like this when we, you know, because they didn't know how to raise us. They didn't know who we really were like they thought they did, kind of energy in the and our subconscious mind's been formed on that. So now we have to heal that and move forward. If you're going through the other process where you're crossing the veil, God catches you and God knows exactly what to do with you. So you can rest assured of that. And then this is the energy of the someone who's older saying, no, I don't want the change, and can I bribe the Grim Reaper so we don't have to have this transition. Yet these little ones here, this one here is offering a bloom to the Grim Reaper and saying, hey, I'm here, and this is representing growth. So these two cards together actually represent kind of the energy that a lot of people are feeling right now, because when we're only a month into the new year. This is going to be posted on February 5th, and this is my 100th video of the Tattle Tales from the Vector since I started. I've done one every day since I think it was on October 28th was my first one. So this energy, you know, yay. I was really, because I decided I had time now and I wanted to make my YouTube channel my priority because I'm getting ready to bring my Oracle Tales from the Vector out. And so, but anyway, this energy is talking about when we moved into from 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is and adds up to 9. And so that's a 9-year. And so 9 represents the end of a cycle, and it's actually the end of like a pretty much a decade of energy. And then when we moved into 2026, that adds up to 10, which comes down to a 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's the beginning of a new cycle, and it's a new 10-year cycle, basically. So this energy, when we move from, like a lot of times when we have a new year, we won't even notice, like, oh, there's a new year? I never even noticed. we forget when we write the date. We're always, we forget that there even was a new year. But people are really noticing this one because it was the end of a cycle. And so if you're kind of you're in a situation where you're here and you want to get as much of the information, go back to 2015 and 16, in between there. What were you doing like on New Year's Eve on 2015 when we were moving into 2016? That was 10 years ago. Who were you with? What were you doing? That's the kind of energy, and that could give you some clarity as to your situation. It will empower you somewhat. We do have the Strength card coming in. And I just want to point out, I'm making a pentacle here, and that's what I'm building. And so this is the bottom blocks, and this is talking about moving forward to plant those seeds and move forward in a strong way. We have this energy here is the obstacles that we're likely to come across, and what are we going to do to move forward. So we have, we already have a reality, we have a battle here, whether it's inward and outward kind of energy, external and internal forces. We have a reality check coming in, kaboom, and we have a major transition happening. And now it's saying here, this is going to require strength. And so the Strength card, this is a young woman reaching into the lion's mouth, and she's reaching into the lion's mouth to prove to herself that she can face her fears. And so as she, this is a very dangerous thing to do. Don't try this at home kind of energy. But well, do it at home, but don't try. Try is just another word for not doing. You want to face your fears head on, and she's reaching right into this lion's mouth to prove to herself that she can face her fears, and she's digging deep to do it. And the lion's allowing it because she's being in her own authority here. She has the infinity symbol above her head, and this energy is talking about moving forward with like infinite potential, to the power of infinity and beyond. Strong, strong energy. And so this is talking about having that ability to really look at what happened maybe in your childhood. The thing about the subconscious mind is that when we tend to react to things, it's because of we're coming from the subconscious mind. And so once we can heal that inner child a little bit here, then we don't get into this state so much. We don't get into that loop of energy, like we're keep on asking the same question, what if kind of energy. And then the woulda, shoulda, couldas. And then we have the two of wands here. And so the Two of Wands is talking about this person is standing on their the top of their turret, overlooking the domain of their of what they've built. And this person is saying, I want to expand my horizons. I want to expand my business possibly. I feel like this energy is very much like entrepreneur energy. Someone has planted something here, and now they're ready to move forward and expand it, and possibly even internationally, because this is, there's water here, and it's like going to a different shoreline. And this is saying the energy is kind of that of a person who's a big fish in a little pond. And so where you are, you might be a hero in your own hometown, which is really hard to do, so congratulations. If people are looking up to you and you're in your hometown, having said that, now you have to, this person recognizes that they want to build something even bigger or move forward even with a different project that they're passionate about. So sometimes this can even mean about just wanting to travel and be in that energy, or it could be you're passionate about someone who lives in a different country or in the other part of the country or in a new, in a different city, and that you want to move and explore that energy. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is talking about health. The Pentacles are health, wealth, happiness, as I explained here. And a big part of that is coin. This is the only card out of all the Pentacles in the tarot where the person is actually working on physically on the coin. So they're very focused on this coin and they're making money. So this is actually about making money. This represents a project that you have started and you're on you are on the second pentacle and you have this many to go and you have one done. Or these are these 6 pentacles that you've already earned. I feel that it's more this. You've earned these seeds and you're working and maybe finishing this project up, which is why now you want to start another project. That kind of energy. So we will look into it a little bit more. We have the Nine of Swords here. So the Nine of Swords has been coming in a lot in all of the readings, and I thought it was kind of funny because I was trying to figure out, this energy, normally I would read this as a never-ending nightmare that just never ends. And so this person has woken up in the middle of the night and they can't sleep. They're having a bad nightmare. And the energy is, a never-ending nightmare. Or it can represent having enlightenment from the Holy Spirit or from source energy, your intuition, and that you're trying to remember a dream where you were shown what steps to take to move towards your goals, kind of energy. And this quilt here has cosmic symbols on it, which represents the energy of the universe has you covered, kind of energy. But it was coming up in every reading, like consistently. I did, I think it was the new moon readings that I just finished for January, and it came up in 10 out of the 12 readings. And then I realized, moving into, or it was for the beginning of February. I have playlists there, so I have a playlist with the full moon and new moon readings. If you're interested, I have them done for each sign for each month. And then I have a playlist for the energy of like the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month for each sign. It just gives a little bit more specific information for because it's specifically for each horoscope sign. But this, what I noticed, it was the beginning of February. And then I was like, you know what it was? On February 2nd was Groundhog's Day. And Groundhog's Day is like this energy of total, what it represents is just total boredom. Like, so bored. Every day is the same. You're doing the same thing day after day, and you're just bored. And so that energy, it's kind of interesting because Groundhog's Day was on February 2nd. And so I feel like, and it's still coming in here and there in the readings, but not quite as much. But what's funny about Groundhog's Day is like people think that they're doing the same thing every day, day after day. And a lot of us were taught in school, and I don't know if they've changed how they teach this in school because it's been a long time since I've been to elementary school. Having said that, on the internet I still see it where the sun's here and the planets are going around the sun in neat circles, just like grooves in a record, that those old things that you used to play music. And so it's just like this, it's perfect. But what we're really doing is we're spiraling and spinning and moving. The whole Milky Way is moving. Like if you're sitting here watching this right now, that you're not actually sitting still. It feels like you are, but you're actually moving at a very fast pace. So you can't really, there really is no Groundhog's Day because you're never in the same place at the same time. The one thing that we can rely on in this crazy world that we live in, especially in the last few days, if you're watching the news at all, it's like, whoa, we live in a real different time. Whatever, the times we live in right now are very, the truth is being exposed about so many things that have been going on in the background. And so this energy, it's kind of saying like the one thing that we can rely on is change. Change is the one constant that we can rely on. And even though you might be doing the same routine every day, you're not actually in the same place. So you're not ever, and you're not the same person you were yesterday, you know? Hopefully you've learned something every day, at least if it's only one thing, right? And then we have the energy of the Queen of Pentacles coming in. So the Queen of Pentacles is very focused on the pentacle, and she's very respected for being someone that you can count on. She is known to be very resourceful. So she can stretch a pentacle, if you know what I mean. She can make something out of nothing. She's the kind of person that if you come to her home, she has 4 things of groceries in her fridge and you're wondering how is she going to feed 6 people? And she makes a delicious soup or something and everybody's raving about it. It's that kind of energy. She also is known for preferring quality over quantity. So we're talking about like old money. We're not talking about flashy designer clothing and spending a lot on trendy items and bragging about it on social media. Very quietly, conservatively, solid in how to live a good lifestyle, basically. And then we have the energy of 7 of Cups. So the 7 of Cups comes in, and it's representing all these opportunities that are being afforded you. And it's almost like this little cat. It's a silhouette energy. And the cat has 9 lives, and you have 7 opportunities. You're like a black hole that's sucking in opportunity. So this is saying that this energy has shifted. It looks like, what was this energy about? I think boredom, more than like a never-ending nightmare. And like, really, it may sound like, oh, that's like pretty, what I was telling you about how we're not going like this. How is that really going to change my life? You'd be really surprised how it changes your life when you think about it. Because when you're having those days where you're bored, it's kind of like, oh, wait a minute, like I'm probably, I'm not in the same place. So it's not possible. And so you're lying to yourself if you think that you are. And the other energy is like, if you were raised by someone like my mom, and if I said, Mom, I'm bored, she'd say, great, I was looking for someone to clean the toilets, and you would regret opening your big mouth. You know what I mean? So that kind of energy, if we were bored around the house, she would give us something to do. And like that kind of energy. But this is talking about opportunities. So every one of these cups has a gift in it. And, each of these is different. And so these are all available to you. You're destined to have all these opportunities. There's 7 of them here. This is, you choose which one you want to work on. Remembering that these cups have opportunities and gifts in them. But it's up to you to put some energy into it so that you make the opportunity come around. So this is basically all of the possibilities that are hidden in the challenges, and it's up to you to bring them out. We have a card of reconciliation here, the 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Cups is kind of a weird card to me. Like at first glance, you look at it and it looks like, oh, there's 2 kids goofing around in the front yard and someone's watching over them. And they've got all these, cups with flowers in them, But when you look closer, you realize, wait a minute, that's not, those aren't children. That's a gnome, and that's a little woman. And when you look at her one way, it's like, oh, that looks like an old hag. And then no, it looks like a young woman, and she's really little. And the flowers in these cups, there's 6 of them, represent innocence. Like the white in tarot represents innocence. But the thing about the flowers in these cups, this plant is from the nightshade family. It's Datra. And Datra is very highly poisonous. I mean, shamans do use it in ceremony, but they know the right dosage. You would never let children play with Datra because they might put it in their mouth, and you wouldn't have it around pets, because they could get really sick from it. So that's so it's not really an innocent plant, even though it's being projected as one. It's actually a plant that can make you really sick and cause visions also, and that's why shamans use it. But they know what they're doing. So that, because it is, like, it's not something you would let children play with. And the thing is about it too, is the flowers are really beautiful. They're like big, kind of trumpet shaped flowers, and it blooms a lot, like continuously. So it's a really pretty plant, but not something you want around pets and children, and not innocent in that form. So, and then in the back, you wait a minute, that dude isn't looking after the children. He's walking away down the path. So it's kind of like, okay, this is just an illusion. And so, but this card is traditionally touted as a reconciliation card. Like, it can represent a reunion or someone from your past coming in. It also can represent when Mercury, which is the planet of communication, goes retrograde. When a planet goes retrograde, that is talking about, from the perspective of the Earth, it appears to be traveling backwards. And yes, it is true. I have experienced it myself, that the retrograde energy is there. It affects electronic equipment in particular. And because we rely so much on that and communication, for whatever reason it does. Plus, there's a whole plethora of people out there that believe that Mercury in retrograde is going to cause them communication problems. So, of course, with that many people believing that, there's going to be communication problems, regardless of whether it's electronics or or electronic or whatever. But it is like it's a good time to go inward, and and that's the kind of energy that's also represented by this card. Is, a lot of people, when you think about progress, you think about wanting to move forward. But in this card, kind of represents the energy of planet Earth, like nature on planet Earth. And the way nature counts is very different from the way we count. Nature will start 1 + 1 = 2, and then nature reaches back into the past for 1, and 2 + 1 = 3, and then nature reaches back into the past, and 3 + 2 = 5, and then 5 + 3 = 8, and so on. And this is like God's thumbprint. This is the energy of how nature manifests itself and how it grows. And what it's basically saying is life is not a march. Like, we're not supposed to just be going one step after the other like that. And we never have anything that happens to cause us to go sideways or backwards. And so a lot of people feel like progress needs to be straightforward. And if they have to take a step back, it upsets them and they feel like they're going backwards. Well, you are. But life is not a march, life is a dance. And it would be a pretty boring dance if you only took steps forward. That's what we call a march. So that's the kind of energy that, we're in here. And so this card is like talking about that manifestation, of knowing when to I feel this card is talking about, yes, it could be a reconciliation in the past. There could be someone from your past coming in. The first stage of reconciliation, like to have reconciliation, it would imply that there has to be forgiveness. So forgiveness paves the way for reconciliation. But when you forgive someone, you don't even need to tell them, like, your forgiveness is for yourself. So this is talking about moving the energy of reconciliation is a choice. Like, you could forgive someone and never want to ever talk to them or see them again, and not even tell them that you forgive them. The forgiveness is so that you can let go of this energy and you're not like this, bound by other people's thoughts and what they think of you, etc. So this card sometimes could mean that there's someone from your past that's going to come in, and quite often that might happen. And it also can mean that you maybe are having a reunion, like there could be like a holiday and you're getting back together with your family, that kind of energy. But you'll know yourself, take it as it is. I'm a firm believer, like, if people show you who they are, believe them the first time. But, sometimes I feel this is sometimes like talking about someone that you haven't seen or you met just shortly, like for, one time or something, or you haven't seen them since childhood and you bump into each other and all of a sudden, they're like, because we're in the February energy of Valentine's Day, maybe you fall in love and that's your soulmate kind of energy. And it could be, but just, keep it in mind. that there is usually an implication that there needs to be some forgiveness. And so if someone has put you in this state in the past and you've walked away from them, why would you invite them back in? It doesn't really make sense. So this is talking, because this card here, and it's following this one, is talking about having like 8 cups here. So 8 cups, there's only 10 in the tarot. So 8 cups is putting a lot of energy into something. So this could be like 8 years of your life kind of energy. That decade of 2025 to 2020, 2015 to 2025 kind of energy. And so this is saying that this person is walking away from all of this energy that he's poured into these cups because he's done. It's kind of when you say, okay, I'm done. Maybe you did give someone from your past a chance and they put you back in this energy again, and that's why you're now, okay, I'm done. This time when I say I'm done, I mean I'm done. And so this is walking away from a situation that's not benefiting you, even if you've poured a lot of energy into it. And we're really seeing this energy coming up a lot right now, just because on January 26th, we had Neptune, which is a very large planet, and it's about idealism and like giving people second chances and like maybe they've learned so much now because I have kind of energy. And Neptune has been, for 14 years, it's been in the sign of Pisces, and now it was moving back and forth a little bit into Aries and then back into Pisces. But now, on January 26th, now Neptune is in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, so it's not a dreamy energy anymore. It's in your face, kind of idealistic energy. Getting things done. For the planet, for the greater whole, that kind of energy. And on February the 13th, Saturn is joining Neptune in Aries, and so that's going to be, ruled by also by Mars. And so this is Saturn is all about your responsibility and your duties and having to be in the really in structure, that kind of energy. Whereas it's so the energy of Neptune and Saturn, and they're big planets, so we can really feel this energy already. And so the idealistic energy against the do what is the smart thing to do or the responsible thing to do. And so this energy is talking about full moon and a new moon, but it's also talking about an eclipse. And we're having that solar eclipse energy on the Chinese New Year on February 17th. It's a new year. It's also, the moon is in Aquarius, which is also talking about the group energy over individual. And we also have an eclipse, a solar eclipse. So this energy, a lot of people are feeling it right now, and it's like wanting to walk away from things that are no longer, you're just done. It's just like that energy. And then we have justice coming in. So we have, these are the tools and where you're headed to move forward in your life. These are the obstacles. This is having the courage to face them. And now we're in the energy of justice. So justice could just be as much as you're clearing karma as you go along. It's coming in, this veil behind her represents the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical. And so this could represent spiritual justice and also so that your soul is satisfied as well as your physical body, kind of like the physical environment. It could be like actual legal matters in a court of law, that kind of energy. This card can represent actual prison in 3D rather than just a mental prison. It can actually represent prison. And this card, making money, can be, making money, like money laundering, making money illegally kind of energy. So money schemes. And that could be why this person is in this kind of energy, if it has to do with something like that. So when the justice card comes in and this card is in, and we have this energy and we have this on the making money, there could have been some sort of energy like that. And that might be why. And then, we have the shift disturber here, right? And this person wanting to leave now to get away from this energy, right? So sometimes this is about getting away from energy and not just wanting to go somewhere, but wanting to leave where you're at for because you no longer enjoy being there. And we have the sword of justice here. So we see like this justice is about the energy where the swords are, the shift disturber, this energy, and this energy here. All right, and it can all, and she does have her right foot forward, and look at the same energy here with the right foot forward. So I feel like the justice is coming in regarding something like this. This could be speaking that you've healed whatever this energy is here when you had the reality check, or some information came in about some legal money-making scheme, and it was caught, like it's been exposed, and now, you know, justice is coming in about that. So we'll see. Yeah, and now this is talking about being on your destined path, the Chariot. It means that you're really moving into, like, it's already happening in the spiritual realm. And so that's going to present itself in the physical. This normally will represent someone who's on their destined path. And like there's no need for reins at all because you're on your path. This is like a tank running through, like, and you're on it. And you're on your destined path. And there's nothing going to stop you now. But this also can represent, because of the black and whites here, this can represent law and order coming through, like actual like police energy. Due to some schemes here that are causing a lot of worry that could end up with in prison and that kind of energy here. So now, like, it changes, right? And that's so, you know your situation better. That could be why this person wants to walk away, like, get me the heck out of here. And a lot of times the King of Swords represents someone who is a professional. They use their mind and their capacity to use their mind and their ability to use words like thoughts, vocalized thoughts, and also written word kind of energy. So this can represent lawyer energy, judges. It can be like politicians that are high up. Like this would be someone that runs a country, president, prime minister, or someone in the Senate, a minister, something like that, someone who's higher up. If it's a lawyer, it's probably someone who is for sure at least a partner in the firm and in a well-established one. They're wielding the sword just like this justice is. And sometimes this can even represent someone who's a very highly regarded surgeon, that kind of energy. So the King of Swords understands that talk is cheap and actions do speak louder than words. This leadership and the actions here. We don't have a whole lot of action, but we do have some. And he also understands that talk is cheap, and that words can be used as weapons as well as for justice. And so this energy quite often does represent someone who is in the legal system, and it's his job to, he might be a head prosecutor or he might be a lawyer, that's, that someone whatever your energy is in this reading, that you've hired. So like it could be the Queen of Wands is the first person. So you may resonate with the Queen of Wands and this is her story. Or it could be really she's the only one that it's like is a real figure, like a character. The rest are talking about different energies. We do have the Queen of Pentacles, so it could be about, because this is sitting on the Queen of Pentacles. Also, when there's two queens or like several queens coming up in a reading, it can represent that this is one person that has the qualities of the Queen of Pentacles and the qualities of the Queen of Wands. They've learned something, and now, like down here, she wasn't really in the position of the Queen of Pentacles, but after all this happened, she's learned a lot about money, maybe from losing some by the looks of things, if she's in this energy because of it now. And so, and there's law and order coming in. So that could be the energy, that's happening now as we go. And then there's regret. Okay, so what's the regret over? We have 5 cups here. And so this 5 cups is talking about, you know, the saying crying over spilt milk. And this energy is like there's 3 cups here, and 2 of them had wine in them and 1 of them has water in them. So this is talking about a couple and a third cup. So quite often this can represent like a third party energy in a relationship where there should only be 2. This person is really regretting the loss here and is upset about it. And they could stand here for the rest of their life and just, you know, you're not going to get that wine out of the ground. So this is talking about, you know, the best thing to do is turn around, pick up the 2 cups that are standing, walk down the path, cross the bridge over troubled waters, and go to your castle. Now the castle is even half dilapidated and half standing. And so this is also saying, is the glass half empty or half full kind of energy? Which way are you going to do it? It could be like, because look at here, this energy here is talking about like there was 5 cups of happiness, and then all of a sudden we again have those 2 cups in this one over here. So this could be an energy of giving someone another chance from your past, and they do the same old shift. And they end up cheating on you again, and you're back where you were, like, and back here again, just like we warned, don't do that. You know, sometimes believe people the first time they show you who they are. And then we have this immature competition on this. This is my Mean Girls card. This is, if you think about narcissistic cheerleaders, that like they can see the other team is better than them and that they should win, but they want to win. So they'll do anything to do that they can to win. And if they don't succeed, then their mothers will make sure they win. Helicopter parenting. And we have like, these are adolescents. And so this is like immature competition, because as you get older, you realize, and more mature, you realize that really anytime we're in competition, even if we're on a team, that to be a really good leader, like the energy is you have to do the best that you can do and be the best version of yourself. And that, you know, if you're competing with others, you are competing for a prize possibly. But if you do the best that you can that day, and then you also, if you're on a team, do the best to be a good team player and support other people on the team, the whole team is more likely to win. And if you see someone that is doing something better than you and they're your competition, study them and learn from the competition. That's what competition is for. It's to inspire us to raise our bar, you know, that kind of energy. So, but this is kind of talking about, you know, just being really petty about it. And it could be talking about that this, you know, this cup of love, this regret, and this walking away is because this person has a lot of, there's always a lot of competition for this person's attention. And it's kind of like you're just one of the many that they're involved with kind of energy. The Page of Wands can be really, have that energy about them, like not wanting to commit. And you know, some people stay in this energy for their whole life, and it's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. But if you're looking for something more secure and committed, then it's not for you, right? And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is talking about, there's a message coming in now regarding the Pentacles. And this could be, you know, it's sitting right here on this energy here. So there could be some sort of judgment that's made. Maybe there was something in your business, or you know, this is a legacy for wealth, so this can quite often talk about generational wealth. It could be something like that. We have the Nine of Pentacles coming in. So this is talking about, again, learning that. Look at here. We have the 6 Pentacles that you sow, and then we have the 9 of Pentacles coming in. And she has her hand on those 6 Pentacles. She's not giving any of that away. She will only give it away once she has 3 more. So like, this is what she always has her hand on, because she knows that she always has to have enough to look after her own needs, her business needs, the household needs, her family's needs first. And then this could be given to charity, or these 3 here, or it could be for more risky investments, or just like if a family member needs help or something like that. So this is the ratio of 3, 6, 9. And Nikola Tesla talks about the beauty of the 3, 6, 9, and I feel like he's referring to this ratio. Like if, like you have to know how much to invest and how much not, and where you put it in kind of energy. And so this is pre-Empress energy. So it's talking about like really having learned your lessons from all the 4 queens energy and almost being raising your vibration to that of an empress. You're very close here. She has this falcon here, and this falcon represents having the foresight to move forward in a strong way and to be able to see the big picture. And the wheel of fortune is turning. So this is the past, the present, and the future coming together in synchronicity. And in the past, I feel like this energy, I feel there was something there, and it may have even involved this person. And then you were like, oh, okay. And then maybe you got involved with this person again, and then you found out that this person has been doing shady, shifty business. And now you're going to suffer the karma, because this is representing karma. Now you're going to end up dealing like with the karma of this shifty energy that you didn't know about kind of energy, and it leaves you out in the cold. And look at, now you're down to like, you're here instead. But this card has also been coming up a lot in the readings, and I feel sometimes it's talking, if it comes in with the star energy, that if you're meant to really shine, you're not going to fit in with everybody else. You're going to stand out kind of energy. But this could represent tactics that have been used against you. And maybe you were tricked out of some money, or you went into business with someone, you gave them a second chance, and they did the same old shift. And now this is what the problem is. So that could be one scenario. Look at that. And then we have the heartbreak. So this is talking, there's 2 ways there's 2 ways that this reading can be read. If you stay on your path, on your destined path, this could represent that energy here that I was talking about, where the subconscious and the unconscious mind are congruent with each other and they're plugged into your heart's desires. So you stayed on your path and now you're here. You're living out your heart's desires. It's representing that. Or you decide you didn't recognize the shifty behavior, and this wasn't just a lover that was interested in you. This is someone that was fishy, and there was something about it that stunk. But you decided like this was someone you really always wanted to be with, and you ran into them somewhere, and they may have even orchestrated that, because now either they walked away or you walked away, but now you have half the money that you used to because of the tactics that were used. And there could be legal ramifications here, that kind of energy. So this is talking then a heartbreaking decision had to be made. Like this is talking about there was probably a third party involved in the relationship, that kind of energy. Yes, so let's say the collective, you stayed on your path. It's a better, and then look at the bottom of the deck here. We have the Fool on their journey. So this is talking about if you are when you're the Fool and you start out on your journey, if you stay on your destined path and you don't take shortcuts, and you follow the sun, you're going to have the outcome of all of your heart's desires being at the top here, and having all your, like having all this beautiful energy coming in. And if you are if you're on a foolhardy journey, but if you can anticipate having a good outcome. But if you're on a foolish journey, then it's talking about taking shortcuts and not paying attention when the universe is telling you, watch out. And this is talking about having expectations, and expectations will always create limitations. And so then you're in this heartbroken energy, and now you're dealing with lawyers, and you've got half the money that you used to, and yeah, that's when that. So isn't this an interesting reading? It's literally showing 2 versions of the same story. One where the person stayed on their path, and one where the person didn't, kind of energy. Interesting. I've never had it played out quite so specifically like this that I can remember, or maybe I just didn't notice it. So if you are enjoying this reading, if you're it's giving you some value, please do give it a like and comment. It really does empower me to build my channel. I really appreciate it. And also, if you resonate with this channel, consider subscribing. I'd be honored if you did so. I'm going to clarify this now with my oracle cards for those of you that want to stay in here and get further clarification. So, oh, but before I do that, I'll just go give the brief here. So this is talking past, going up to the top and back down. So we have the Queen of Wands in this energy. She's on her throne, passionate about moving forward, has been working hard to get ahead, is maybe feeling a little bit bored and wants to move on. This is talking about there is some regret in the love life, and so that may be part of the issue, but wanting to move forward and stay on the path, not getting engaged, learning from the competition instead of engaging with the competition. And this is more the energy of not fitting in because you're a star and you're not meant to fit in. You're meant to have everything you want, and your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind are plugged in to your heart's desires. So therefore, that's what you receive. The destiny wheel is turning. There is you've learned a lot here about the give and take of the pentacle energy, like how much are you going to invest in others and who are you going to invest in? Are they investing, or is it a fair exchange of energy? Then we have the justice coming in, because like this is talking about your justice is having, being able to move forward in life, and with this energy all together, and being able to step out of this energy, like not having to be here anymore, and planting seeds for the future. So it's talking about someone who's been through the same shift down here, the shift disturber. But one version is where the person stayed on their path, and when there was this reunion energy, they were like, no, thank you. I do not think so. And then there's a version where someone let this person back into their life. And so that's where the story changes here. And so be on the foolhardy energy, not the foolish. And so my oracle is Tales from the Vector. And I started this back in 2007. I completed the 64th painting in 2020. It took me a while because they're really big paintings of dragons flying through the sky. Lots of information. I'm an artist, so I had a lot of fun doing them. I was really busy too, so I was just doing them as I had time to. And I am now getting ready to bring it out, but I want to work on the book that goes with it, the information. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and my website, there's a gallery with all the paintings listed, and so each of the paintings is numbered, and the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in the order they are in the gallery. So if you want to check it out later, in the description box below, I'll have the numbers here from the paintings, and you can look up which ones they are. They say a painting paints 1,000 words. I find that quite often. So here we go. And eventually, I figure probably by the end of this year, I'll start really getting into, right now I'm focusing on building my channel and working with more people on it. So I'm enjoying it a lot. I really am enjoying this process. I've learned so much about YouTube, computers, editing, formatting, also, how to use how to use graphics for the thumbnails, and the rules that you have to follow, and there's a lot of statistics and analytics, and I'm kind of like really enjoying getting into that. I'm studying with a group that learning a lot about the computer. It's a little bit challenging at times, but I like it a lot. It's good energy. It's really enjoyable connecting with people that when people subscribe to your channel and they want to hear more, it's a really good feeling. And I'm really like grassroots about it. I'm not, I appreciate each person that subscribed. I'm not really in it to be like the biggest channel. I want to be more, create a community. of supporting, people that kind of are in the same energy where, let's move forward. Let's be the best version of ourselves, whatever that is. Okay, so these cards are being stubborn. Oh, here it is. Okay, these are the ones that are wanting to come out, and there's a whole bunch, so I'm just going to take them in this order. We have the Hermit. So the Hermit is going to the top of the mountain to get the information so that they can take the correct steps, which is a really good idea if you don't know what to do, because then you're going to be on the foolhardy journey and safe travels in this cycle. We have the Shooting Star, and this is representing the fact that that was that star energy that I was picking up. We didn't have the star card here, but now this is talking about, and this is that base chakra energy. This is about your survival and the tools that you have. So the best tool that you have is a really good attitude. And, things may not always go the way you want them to, but if you have a good attitude, then you usually can work through it. Judgment. So there is some form of judgment coming in, and that judgment is on the shift disturber and the fishy romance here. That's the energy here. The Wheel of Fortune. My oracle cards are pretty direct. They've got a weird sense of humor, but they're direct. So the Wheel of Fortune was already spinning here and up here, because I feel like this energy here, are you going to go for everything you wish for and be a leader? Or are you kind of be going into this energy and cause a tower and all of this energy? Which destiny, which path are you going to go on? That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. We have Taurus here. So Taurus energy is talking about the toddler of the, and this is about having a very, undeveloped understanding of the give and take in life. If you think about a toddler, they're so lovable, so they give in all their love, and they're always asking why, and then other times when they have to share, they can, throw a tantrum, and you're like, where is that sweet little darling? And so the Taurus energy is represented by the bull. And so it's talking about, being quite stubborn, which I sometimes like to refer to as determined. I want to point out that when I have horoscope signs coming up in my readings, I'm not talking, oh, this is a Taurus that was victorious, that kind of energy. I'm talking about the energy of the sign. Because as I said, we all have a little bit of every sign in us. If you get your birth chart done, you can see where the planets were when you were born. And so we can learn from each of the signs and the stage of development that they're at. There's not one better than the other. It's just talking about the stage of life, and also the you could be like someone that say you were working a 9-to-5 job for another company, and you didn't have any business experience whatsoever. And then you decide, okay, I've been doing that for 20 years and I have enough money. I want to go into business for myself and do something with that business. Then you're going to have to learn the give and take of business, and you might be 40 or 50 by the time that happens. So this toddler energy can happen at any age. It's a learning curve. Like for me, learning how to be on YouTube. There's a lot there, and it is like every day I'm learning something new. And even if you can get 1% better every day, just that one thing, one small thing, it's going to improve your performance overall. And so that's like having that kind of an attitude. And then we have the energy of the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is talking about traditional structure, and this is talking about court systems, and it's sitting right on this card here again. So I feel like this could represent some sort of law, the courts. And the Hierophant has their hand in a blessing, his right hand, and that's saying that there's going to be a blessing that comes out of this learning experience the first time. But if you do it, if you repeat the experience, then you're going to be moving into that same cycle, and the ramifications of it are going to be even more intense, right? they're going to be amplified because you didn't learn your lesson the first time. So then the universe takes the frying pan out kind of energy. We have the surrender here. This is talking about psychic energy and that. I feel like if you're like, we all get those little messages, but sometimes we just don't want to hear them. And that's kind of that stubbornness of being a toddler. And sometimes we just have to surrender to God's plan, like to the universal plan. It's a very ordered plan. God is very mathematical. The God energy is not, it's a very structured energy. And that's when the world is always like our universe is always expanding, and then it's contracting and expanding and contracting. And when it's expanding, things can be really looking really chaotic, but it always comes back to order eventually. And we have 26 is going to be, you're going to be a superstar. So smart move, collective, stay on your path. That's the energy. That's how this creates harmony in your life. Sing to your heart's intent. Sing to your heart's intent. Yes, making sure you have that balance. So the hangman checks in, and sometimes if they don't know what to do, they'll go isolate themselves. Like the hangman is represented by someone hanging from the tree of knowledge, and then they're upside down. And so their energy is like they're trying to gain a new perspective by looking at it from every other angle and then making a decision before they move forward with the energy. The hangman energy in my oracle is a beautiful dragonfly on an echinacea flower. And she's basically doing a headstand with her tail up in the air and her head down. And so this is having that balance between your masculine and feminine, between being and doing, like the extremes, like being in between and being neutral in between, as well neutral to either of the extremes. We have the all-star energy, which is talking about use your intuition and your logic instead of just one or the other. The two combined are very beneficial, and they create creative solutions. This is also, I feel, saying that maybe you've been getting messages in the wee hours of the morning, regarding your situation. Pay attention to your dreams. We have the Chariot coming in, and we have the Chariot here. So this is talking about, this energy here, like either way, karma's coming in, and you're going to, whatever path you're on, that's what you're going to reap from the seeds you sow, that kind of energy. A lot of people feel like karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect. It's simply eventually, like whatever your actions are, they're going to catch up with you one way or another. And it's not about punishment so much as it's about, okay, you did this, so now the universe gives you that, that kind of energy. We have the Emperor coming in. And so the Emperor is the four kings rolled up into one. And so this energy is sitting on this justice. So quite often, if there is justice and, like the destined path and that kind of energy, if there is some legalities, quite often the Emperor would be like a Supreme Court judge kind of energy. And then we have the energy of Capricorn, and that is that Saturn energy that is so intense. This is also the energy of temptation, because Saturn energy is represents both the devil and it represents Capricorn energy. Saturn, the planet Saturn does actually. Saturn, again, as I said, is a very intense, it's about sticking to your responsibilities, not having a lot of ambition, but doing things the correct way, not doing things, taking shortcuts in your morals, basically. And then we have disruption. So this is talking about what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. And that's that kind of energy of, caving in and taking this upon you again, and now you're sort of stuck in the same energy as this person after having gone through it once before. That kind of energy, repeating the cycle. And this is because there was some sort of scotoma. So a scotoma is a blind spot that you have in your eye. And we all have little areas of our eyes that maybe are a little bit that, especially as you get older. but you don't really notice it because you can see the big picture really clearly. And if the scotoma isn't in a place where, right on the retina or on the pupil, then you might not notice. So the scotoma, like this is saying, the scotoma of being in life can be represented as others can see something, but you can't see it. Everybody can see it, but you. Which quite often happens when there's love, love is blind, there's a saying. And then we have the energy of something that other people don't. So maybe you see a quality in this person that other people can't see, but still, it's more like potential is what I'm getting. And so eventually in life, you will learn that potential is great, but if you want to live with someone, you probably don't want to wait for them to grow up, and they're already 40 or 50 and they still haven't, but there's potential there. That's the kind of energy. And then this is talking about, the energy here, perception. That's like the hangman energy. And that's when a lot of people end up going, in this cheating energy because they think, where is the cups, well, you know it. You know the one where the cups are spilled on the ground. I can't remember where it's at. I can't fit this. I have to cover the cards because I can't fit the whole reading in otherwise. And I really like this pyramid. But anyway, you know which one I mean, where the regret is. It's right here, right here. So this energy is, someone thought the grass was greener on the other side, and then they got there and it was fake. And basically the moral of the story is you can have green grass and it can be real, but you have to, prepare the soil, and then you have to plant the seeds, and then you have to water it and nurture it and fertilize it and cut it often and pick weeds, and then you'll have beautiful green grass that's real. And so nothing like it's kind of like what, if you want to have a strong future, you need to participate in it in a strong way. I really like this reading. I thought it was really cool showing these two outcomes. Really awesome energy. I hope you've also enjoyed it. Please give it a like and comment if you have, and consider subscribing to the channel. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with another daily reading for you tomorrow. Bye for now.